Good morning, students. We'll be continuing with Science 1, chapter number 8, Metallurgy. The subtopics that we'll be learning today is reaction of nonmetals and ionic compounds. This is a periodic table which shows the position of the metals, nonmetals and metalloids. As you can see, the red boxes shows metals, the yellow ones metalloids, and the blue ones on the extreme right are the nonmetals. Chemical properties of nonmetals. Nonmetals are also called as electronegative elements as they form negatively charged ions by accepting electrons. Most of them have 5, 6 or 7 electrons in their outermost orbit. The first reaction that we learn is reaction of nonmetals with oxygen. So you can see that carbon combines with oxygen to form carbon dioxide, which is acidic in nature. Carbon plus oxygen, if it's a partial combustion, forms carbon monoxide, which is neutral in nature. Sulfur plus oxygen forms sulfur dioxide, again which is acidic in nature. That means generally nonmetals combine with oxygen to form either acidic oxides, or sometimes they can also form neutral oxides. So, nonmetals reacts with oxygen to form either acidic oxide like carbon dioxide or neutral oxide like water. Reaction of nonmetal with water. Generally, nonmetals do not react with water except for halogen. For example, chlorine on dissolving in water gives the following reaction. Third one, reaction of dilute acid with nonmetal. Similarly, nonmetals do not react with dilute acid, but halogens are an exception to this. For example, chlorine reacts with dilute HBr, that is hydrobromic acid, to form the following compound. Chlorine plus HBr forms HCl plus Br2. Reaction of nonmetals with hydrogen. Nonmetals react with hydrogen under certain conditions, like a proper temperature, pressure and things like that, in the presence of catalyst. Sulfur reacts with hydrogen to form H2S. Similarly, nitrogen reacts with hydrogen to form NH3, that is ammonia gas. We saw that nonmetals mostly do not react with acids. Nonmetals react with hydrogen to form covalent compounds. These are formed by sharing of electrons. Nonmetals do not react with water to give hydrogen gas because nonmetals cannot give electrons to an hydrogen ion. Ionic compound. The compound formed from an cation and an anion are called as ionic compound. The cation and the anion are oppositely charged and there is an electrostatic force of attraction between them. This force of attraction between a cation and an ion is called as the ionic bond or the electrovalent bond. The number of cations and anion in a compound and the magnitude of the electric charge on them is such that the positive and the negative charges balances each other. As a result, an ionic compound is electrically neutral. What it means is, for example, consider NaCl. Now, NaCl has one sodium positively charged ion and one chlorine negatively charged ion. So, when they are bound by a ionic bond, what happens? The positive charge and the negative charge cancels each other and we get a electrically neutral compound. Ionic compounds are crystalline in nature. The surface of all the particles of a crystalline substance have a definite shape and are smooth and shiny. The regular arrangement of ions in the solid ionic compound is responsible for their crystalline nature. The arrangement of ions is different in different ionic compound and therefore the shapes of their crystals are different. The main factor that determines the general arrangement of ions in a crystal is the attractive force between oppositely charged ions and the repulsive force between similarly charged ions. Because of this, general crystalline structure has a negative ion arranged around a positive ion and a positive ion arranged around a negative ion. Two of the important factors responsible for a certain crystal structure are as follows. The first one, size of the positively and negatively charged ion, and the second one, the magnitude of the electrical charges on the ion. The word magnitude means actually the value. The electrostatic attraction in the neighboring ions with opposite charge is very strong. That is why the melting point of ionic compound is very high. Also, the ionic compounds are hard and brittle. So, ionic compounds are composed of both metals and non-metals. The bond that is formed is based on electrostatic force of attraction between the negatively charged ion called anion and the positively charged ion called as cation. Ionic bonding occurs by the transfer of one or more electrons from one atom to another. Properties of ionic compound. They are usually crystalline solids, have high melting point because of the strong bond formed by electrostatic force. They usually do not conduct electricity as a solid, normally dissolves in water, usually conducts electricity when in a solution or in a molten state. What is an ionic bond? Nonmetals usually have 4 or more electrons in their outermost shell. To make their outermost shell full, it's easier for them to gain 3 or 4 electrons than to lose 4 or 5 electrons. Whereas in case of metals, they usually have 3 or less electrons in their outermost shell. So opposite to non-metals, it is easier for a metal to lose 3 or less electrons than to gain 4 or more. Therefore, it makes more sense that metals and non-metals bond together easily as ions. So, to see the general properties of ionic compound, the first one, the attractive force between the positively and negatively charged ion is strong. Hence, most of the ionic compound exist in a solid state and they are hard. The ionic compounds are brittle and can be broken into pieces by applying pressure. The intermolecular force of attraction is very high and large energy is required to overcome it. Therefore, the melting and boiling point of ionic compounds are also very high. Most of the ionic compounds are water soluble. This is because the water molecule orient in a particular manner around the ion separated by dissociation process. As a result of this, a new force of attraction is established between the ion and the surrounding water molecules. The ionic compounds are, however, insoluble in solvents like kerosene and petrol. This is because, unlike water, a new attractive force cannot be established in these solvents. The ionic compound cannot conduct electricity when it's in a solid state. In this state, the ions cannot leave their place. However, in the molten state, they can conduct electricity, as in this state the ions are mobile. The aqueous solution, that is when it's dissolved in water, they conduct electricity as they contain the dissociated ions. On passing current through the solution, the ion starts moving in the oppositely charged electrode. Due to the electrical conductivity in fused state and dissolved state, the ionic compounds are called as electrolytes. That is the dissolved state of ionic compound. This is how crystalline structure looks like. Ionic compound form crystals that have alternate arrangement of positively charged ions and negatively charged ions. That's why when they break, their edges are well defined. These are examples of certain ionic compounds. Sodium chloride, formula NaCl, that is, it does not have any charge, it's neutral. Whereas the ion is one positively charged sodium and one negatively charged chlorine. Similarly, if you look at, say, magnesium oxide or maybe calcium chloride, see the fifth one. This is to have calcium having two positive charge and two chlorine ions having negatively charged. They balance each other. Thank you. Next lecture will be continuing with the next topic of metallurgy.